All right. Hi, my name is Nives and I'm going to be sharing this presentation together with Sheryl. A little bit about Sheryl and I. We met in the Moodle for Teachers courses run by Dr. Nellie Deutsch. We began working together around 2016, and through our many online presences, we have cultivated a deep mutual respect, which has culminated into a lasting friendship and hopefully long-lasting friendship. Even if we have never met face-to-face, we regularly chat via Hangouts, sometimes for hours too. We are always sharing and learning together, broadening our horizons with our passion for lifelong learning. With that said, let's move on to the presentation, Distance Learning for EFLtalks. Thanks again to Rob Howard for the invite. So the new term on everyone's lips at present in Italy is distance learning. Teachers that previously had little or no experience with online learning had to adapt overnight to something new. Then, like magic, they were expected to become adept online teachers. Suddenly, their world was turned upside down. Classes were no longer in a bustling classroom, but an online video virtual environment where teachers were trying to continue their normal teaching method in a remote location. Some quickly invented creative ways to communicate with their students, while some schools were still adopting Google Apps for Education. Other schools were adopting Microsoft Teams. Others were using mobile phones. The first week was hectic and chaotic for everyone involved: the teachers, the students, the families, for the teachers and students, local communities, school headmasters, and our own Ministry of Education. However, especially here in Italy, everyone had to roll up their sleeves. Teachers got on with the job of teaching, and students, excited at first by the novelty, actually got on with the job of continuing their learning. So over to you, Sheryl.
Nives and I will now explain how tools and ideas are an integral part of getting ready to teach online.
Let's look at the tools needed. Let's look at the tools needed for distance learning. We need to understand that when you transition to teaching online, the normal teaching techniques and methodologies do change, and dramatically so, although the teaching principles still remain the same. But you need certain devices to make sure that you can begin to teach or learn, for that matter. So good internet means understanding bandwidth, routers, Wi-Fi, or having a landline, ensuring you have reliable internet provider, knowing your upload or download limits and speeds. A computer or laptop is not just for good looks. You need the latest operating systems. You need to make sure you have regular updates, enough memory capacity, and that you can also get in touch with a reliable maintenance service. Computer skills are not just browsing, but being able to use apps, understanding how your webcam works, using a microphone and headset. A second or third monitor is also advisable for teachers, although not a last minute thing, obviously, but it is advisable. Sometimes a handheld device like a smartphone or tablet can come in handy too. It's also important to understand to create the workspace environment, not just the physical one, but the virtual one as well. Implement time management processes, take breaks, prepare suitable online didactic materials. Over to you, Sheryl.
What are your goals? To implement these goals, keep a list of bookmarks, notes, and practice activities, projects, and shared experiences, your stories. What is your superpower? What does it look like in your lesson when you are connecting with students? That is what it means to be creative. Some of us are witty, some of us are funny, some of us are earnest. Often, all of us can be all those things. That's what creativity is. That's what influences you to bring learning to your students and match their present day needs. Just outside the classroom, but understand that the entire world is your classroom. Engage, motivate, and encourage. Find any way you can to encourage your students to understand what the growth mindset is. Teach them by example. that it's possible for them to learn what you're teaching. Help them suspend judgment until they try something new. If they fail, encourage them to ask for help. Yes, ask for help. Can we do that? That's why we're all here together. A critical concept is that you must believe that improvement is always possible. That is what the growth mindset is all about. If you believe that our students can improve, you must put yourself into someone else's situation. The most important attribute teachers can have is to believe that humans can change their behavior. That is, they can learn. We must find ways to make that happen. Is to have respect for the human condition and all its maintenance. All these skills can be improved with thoughtful practice. To have respect for others requires us to have respect for our own capabilities. Positive self-care is a key component of our work in teaching and learning. Always find ways to make learning fun, even if you're just sharing silly stories about yourself. Nives and I believe humans have the innate capacity to learn and grow in their positive belief in themselves and the work they accomplish. These are the central findings of the growth mindset research. As teachers, it's the core of what we believe about student learning and student progress. It's teaching. Let students know that you're interested in their work. Immediate feedback is best, but not always possible. Explain your assessment process so students will have an idea what to expect in the timing and the process of feedback. Over to you, Nives.
The live on lesson is not just about teaching, but it's also a moment to reach out and create that human interface that is so often missing when studying alone online. The teacher should always have their webcam and mic open at the beginning of the class at least, and allow for the students to interact during the live lesson. So cut down the teach talk. You can set up a Google Doc or Google Sheet if you can't keep up with the chat during the live meet, and allow students to add their comments or questions in that Google Sheet. Teachers can also keep an eye on the comments using a handheld device or screen share at certain points to catch up on the questions and comments in the live lesson. Over to you, Sheryl.
Whatever you choose to do with your students and how they choose to react, respond, and create are an interplay of all the small and large choices that you make. Over to you, Nives.
And that sums it up. Remember that even if online teaching and learning are new to you, don't be afraid to learn new ways of teaching your subject. Remember, that's why you are a teacher. We try out new things all the time. That's part of teaching and learning. Thank you for listening to us talking about our experience of teaching and learning online. Thanks to you, Rob. Back to you. Did we do it in 10 minutes?